The following program originates live with the NBC television network.
NBC Sports presents the 1965 World Series. From Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, the Minnesota Twins meeting the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Brought to you by
The Gillette Safety Razor Company, maker of the slim, adjustable razor. The Gillette Super Stainless, the totally new Gillette Super Stainless blade. Foamy, the cream of all instant lathers. Right Guard spray deodorant and new Heads Up hairdressing for men.
and by
Chrysler Canada Limited and its dealers who sell Imperial, Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, Valiant, Dodge and Fargo trucks from Chrysler Canada Limited.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vin Scully, along with Ray Scott, welcoming you to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles and the third game of the 1965 World Series. In appreciation for your continued support, the Gillette Safety Razor Company and Chrysler Corporation bring you this series and such other outstanding events as the All-Star Baseball Game, NCAA College Football, and the 1966 Rose Bowl Game, exclusively on NBC. A capacity crowd here at the ballpark of somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 to 56,000. And for the Dodgers, they either win today or I guess it's time to make out your shopping list for Christmas. They're down by 2. No ball club in World Series history has ever lost the first 3 and come back to win. They go with left-hander Claude Osteen, who had beaten Minnesota 5 times while he was in the American League, and the Twins counter with their ace right-hander Camilo Pascual. We'll have something else to say about the Dodgers, but right now, let's meet the voice of the Minnesota Twins, who's got to be thinking about Christmas. On the happy side, Ray Scott.
Thank you, Vin Scully, and hi again, everybody. The Twins are well aware of what Vin Scully just mentioned to you, namely that Claude Osteen has exercised some sort of a hex, if you will, over the Twins, but not so much a hex as just plain good pitching. The Twins say that if Osteen has his control, no one is tougher as far as they are concerned. But they also are aware of the fact that Osteen against the Twins was in another year. Pascual, meanwhile, as many of you know, has undergone surgery. He has come back, and he has not been able to pitch outstanding baseball since his operation, but he has been able to come back and show that he is physically sound. Camilo has, for a number of years, been recognized as one of the premier curveball pitchers in baseball. But his curve has not been, by his own admission, quite as good as it was before the operation. But he still has the good fastball, and all in all, it looks like a fine pairing as far as the pitching is concerned for this third game of the 1965 World Series. And right now, Vin Scully will be back with you.
Thank you, Ray. Well, friends, this game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is similarly prohibited unless authorized in writing by the Commissioner. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, and just to refresh your memory, the statistics for the first 2 games of the World Series: Minnesota beating the Dodgers handily 8-2, each side with 10 hits, and the Dodgers committing an error. In the first game of the series, of course, the winning pitcher, Jim Grant, the losing pitcher, Don Drysdale. The second game of the series, again, it was all Minnesota, 5-1 on 9 hits, the Dodgers with 7 hits and 3 very big errors. In that game, the winning pitcher, a tremendous performance by left-hander Jim Cott, and the losing pitcher for the Dodgers, Sandy Koufax. And now it is the third game as the scene shifted from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The first thing we will do is familiarize you with the ballpark and its dimensions It is 330 down the line, but it begins to fall away rapidly. On the other side of the Dodger bullpen, in left field, it goes to 380, then to 390, and then to 410 in straightaway center field. And by the way, while we are looking at the wall, those are plywood panels as the center and left and right field walls, and a player can actually hit it and either bounce off or go right through. And although we have never seen an outfielder go through, we have seen them hit a jolting shot and still come away, fortunately, uninjured. It is a symmetrical park going back around to 380 behind the right fielder and 370 to the visiting bullpen, and then down in the right field corner, 330. So there are no advantages as far as being left-handed or right-handed. The Minnesota Twin bullpen, and so far those fellows have been unemployed. They've had 2 complete games for the Twins by Jim Cott and Jim Grant, so Camilo Pascual has a tough act to follow. For the Dodgers, they have already seen 2 aces shot down, Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale, and now they will go with Claude Osteen. Meanwhile, Pascual tuning up, not too much pressure on him. They've already gotten 2 in the bank. Here's a fellow I believe has some pressure on him. Koufax and Drysdale have lost. The Dodgers have not won, and they're looking to him to do it. What are his thoughts about this 3rd game of the World Series? We asked him just a couple of minutes ago.
Well, sure, I'm well aware that Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale have both lost the first 2 ball games, but at this stage of the ball game, especially since we've been playing professional baseball for 9 or 10 years, most of us, you certainly can't lay down and quit now, because we've played this game long enough to know that you can't change your style of pitching for any particular game, and I'm just going to be pitching my regular ball game. I know that I have beaten the Twins 5 times in the past, and I'm not going to let this enter into anything that I would do during this ball game. I'm just going to pitch the way I have all year and hope for the best.
So Claude Osteen getting ready to take the mound. The Dodgers, who will take the field. The captain at shortstop, Maury Wills, followed by the veteran Jim Gilliam, and Willie Davis in center field hitting 3rd. Ron Fairley in the cleanup spot in right, and Lou Johnson in left. Jim Lefevre at second base, Wes Parker at first hitting 8th, along with Johnny Roseborough, the catcher, and then the pitcher, Claude Osteen. The 3rd game of the 1965 World Series being brought to you from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California.
This is a Tony. New improved Tony. Longest wearing, longest lasting, longest living Tony home permanent ever made. Watch how this Tony stands up under this kind of punishment. First we crush it with a hat. Give it a good going over. Can a Tony take it? Yes, Tony bounces right back. Now we fan it. And what a fan. Will the Tony stand up? Can a Tony take it? Yes, Tony bounces right back. Finally, we steam it. If it doesn't droop after this, it certainly won't in normal wear. Can a Tony take it? Yes, Tony bounces right back. New improved Tony. Longest wearing, longest lasting, longest living Tony home permanent ever made. Have a Tony. Regular, super, or gentle. Tony home permanent.
Here at Dodger Stadium, the Marine Corps Color Guard marching the colors out to center field and the crowd standing in respect. A rather gray day in Los Angeles, and we are hopeful that the sun will burn off the overcast. Now, to give you the picture, the crowd standing, and the public address announcer, John Ramsey, introducing Laurich Melchior, who will sing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Laurich Melchior.
Bye.
Now the large crowd settling back for baseball. And to give you the Minnesota lineup and the particulars in play-by-play, the voice of the Minnesota Twins, here is Ray Scott.
Right, Ben. The Twins today will start off with shortstop Zoilo Versailles. Zoilo, one of the Twins' big men so far in the series. In center field, right-handed batting Joe Nosek. I should tell you, Versailles bats right-handed. In right field, batting third, left-handed swinging Tony Oliva. The Twins' third baseman, Harmon Killebrew, will again be in the cleanup spot. Earl Batty will bat number 5, the Twins' catcher. In left field, right-handed batting Bob Allison, whose sensational catch of a sinking liner in the second game of the series was not only one of the World Series' greatest defensive plays, but it could well have turned around the second game. Don Mincher bats 7 and will be the first baseman. First-year player Frank Quillisi is at second, and on the mound with a record of 9 wins and 3 losses in the regular season, and making his first World Series appearance, as is the Dodger left-hander Claude Osteen. Pasquale has won 9 and lost 3. And now the announcement to this huge throng here that Casey Stengel, one of baseball's greatest names, will throw out the first ball. And it's to catcher Johnny Roseboro. What would a World Series game be without a Casey Stengel present in some capacity, official or unofficial? We pause briefly for station identification. The photographers are asking Casey for the proverbial one more. Manager Sam Mealy on his right, and manager Walter Alston walking away. And I guess, Ben, we should pass along the bit of intelligence that manager Sam and wife Connie are still awaiting the arrival of the youngster. And as I understand it, number 5 in the Mealy household was due on Wednesday of this week. And so Casey Stengel, recovering from his accident, goes to his seat, and the Dodgers take the field. The Dodgers defensively today will have Wes Parker at first, Jim Lefevre at second, Maury Wills at short, Junior Gilliam at third, the left fielder Lou Johnson, Willie Davis in center, Ron Fairley in right, John Roseboro the catcher, and on the mound, the 15-game winner in the regular season, Claude Osteen. Twin coaches: at first base, Jim Lemon. At third base, Billy Martin. The umpires for this third game of the 1965 World Series from the American League behind the plate, John Flaherty. At first base from the National League, Ed Sudol. The American League's Bob Stewart will be at second. Calling him as he sees him at third will be the National League's Ed Vargo. Along the left field line, Tony Benson from the National League, and on the right field line, Ed Hurley of the American League. Claude Osteen, and much has been made of this, and rightfully so, has never lost to the Twins. While pitching for the Washington Senators, his former club, he compiled a record of 5 wins and no losses against the Twins. In the regular season, he won 15 and lost 15. He was, I guess there's always one pitcher, it seems, on every winning ball club who is destined not to get run support. And Osteen had that happen to him this season, because despite a .500 record, his earned run average was a sparkling 2.79. He worked 287 innings. The Twins regard him as a tremendous competitor, and to a man they say one thing: if he is getting his pitches over, he is tough to beat. And so the Twins, with a record of 2 wins and no losses, will be trying for 3 in a row, and the Dodgers, in the friendly confines of Dodger Stadium, will try to break through. Twins leadoff batter Zoilo Versalles has collected 3 hits in 10 at-bats in the series and has knocked in 4 runs, has played very well in the field. He has stolen 1 base. His regular season batting average, .273, and batting almost exclusively in the leadoff spot, knocked in 77 runs while homering 19 times. He has 1 home run in this series. Had a brief delay here. Ed Hurley and the announcement was made that Hurley was going to work on the right field line. Hurley is working on the left field line. And there's been a delay while Ed Hurley was having some sort of a conference with the Dodger manager, Walter Alston. But right now, we're about ready to go. The Dodgers will play Versalles just about straight away. And lefty Claude Osteen will try to put the Dodgers on the winning track. And here's the first pitch of the 3rd game. Deep to left. Into the stands. Ground rule double. Lou Johnson went to the corner, didn't have a chance to make a play on the ball, and Versalles continues his tremendous hitting. And here is the center fielder, Joe Nozick. He started the 2nd game when the Dodgers used the left-hander, Sandy Koufax. He collected 1 hit in 3 at-bats. In a step at 3rd, Gilliam. Ball 1. And the lights are on here at Dodger Stadium. So we're 2 for 3 in that department. The lights on for the 2nd game of the series back at Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota. Didn't get the fastball, 1-1. Osteen has excellent breaking pitches. Right side. Out at first, and Versalles goes to 3rd. Parker to Osteen for the put-off. Here is Tony Oliva. In the regular season, Oliva hit .226 here at Dodger Stadium. I should tell you, Versalles hit .289 in the regular series. Oliva in the World Series, 1 hit in 8 at-bats. It was a double, and he knocked in the 1st run of the 2nd game with it. The outfield will be straight away as manager Walter Alston has the Dodger infield at the edge of the grass. Strike. Oliva, the latter weeks of the regular season, started to wear the glove on the right hand. Versalles leading at 3rd. And he felt that it helped him in gripping the bat, and he has not thrown the bat as much as he did in the earlier part of the season. Low, 1-1. Game just underway. The Twins have Versalles at 3rd with 1 out. The runner has to hold. 2 down. Versalles, believing Osteen might field the ball, had to hold at 3rd. And with 2 down, the batter is Harmon Killebrew. He has had 3 hits in 6 at-bats in the series and has knocked in a run. Dodger outfield shades Killebrew a bit to the left. Ball one. Killebrew asks that the ball be examined. Plate umpire John Flaherty apparently detects some slight flaw and a new ball is in play. 2 out, Versailles at third. Twins batting in the first inning. Strike. 1-1. Missing outside with his fastball. Ball 2, strike 1. Ball 3. Killebrew feels that his swing will not be 100% sound until next year. Twins Versailles taking his lead at third. Ball 4. Just off the outside edge. So pitching carefully, Killebrew walks, and with 2 down, the Twins catcher Earl Batty comes to the plate. Batty, in the first 2 games of the series, collected 2 hits in 8 at-bats and knocked in 2 runs. Playing here during the regular season, Batty was the Twins' top hitter with a .320 batting average, 8 hits in 25 at-bats and knocked in 3 runs. Dodger center fielder Willie Davis plays Batty several strides toward right. Ball 1. Versailles led off this ball game by hitting the first pitch for 2 bases, a ground rule double to left. Moved to third as Nossick grounded out and held third as Oliva grounded out. Killebrew has walked, and Batty takes the fastball outside. Ball 2. Versailles. Killebrew. Strike. Killebrew is going to second. The throw down there. Versailles halfway to the plate. Being run now toward the plate. The throw is to the catcher. Versailles back to third, and he is out. And so, at the end of the first half inning, the score is the Twins 0, and the Dodgers are coming to bat.
See this man? He's using a stainless steel blade. Has since they were introduced. He thinks they're great. Yet, he'll never buy another one. No, he'll never buy another ordinary stainless steel blade. Because the Gillette Super Stainless is here. The totally new Gillette Super Stainless blade. Made of a new high-chrome stainless steel that takes and holds an incredibly sharp edge, with a smooth new coating more effective than anything else discovered. The result? Miracle edges and a cleaner, closer, more comfortable shave. So don't buy just another stainless steel blade. Make it super stainless. Gillette Super Stainless with the miracle edges. Your shave will last longer. So will the blade.
The Twins defensively have Don Mincher at first. Frank Quillisi at second, flanked by the shortstop, Zoilo Versailles. Harmon Killebrew is at third. The left fielder, Bob Allison. Joe Nossick in center. Tony Oliva in right. Earl Batty is the catcher. And right-hander Camilo Pascual is the pitcher. The Dodger coaches at first, Danny Ozark, and at third, Preston Gomez. Leading it off, Maury Wills. In the series, 3 hits, 9 at-bats, and an RBI. Ball 1. Killebrew, out. That's the first time in the series that Wills has really tested Killebrew. He bunted for a base hit to drive in a run in the first game, but it was a drag bunt toward first. With 1 out, here is Jim Gilliam. 1 for 9 in the series. First inning, no score. The Dodgers batting with 1 out and none on. Ball 1. Pascual had to have surgery because of torn muscles behind the right shoulder. Ball 2. Reading signs from third base coach Preston Gomez. Ball 3. Pascual this season worked only 156 innings. Strike, 3 and 1. And in that period of time, struck out 96 and walked 63. Ball 3, strike 1 count to Gilliam. Strike, 3 and 2. For those of you who like to keep a scorecard, I should tell you that put out on Versailles went 2-6-2-5, with the third baseman getting the put out. Base hit. Tony Oliva. A double. Gilliam, with 1 away, is on second. That's the Dodgers' second extra base hit in the series. The other was the home run by Fairley in the first game, and here is Willie Davis. The Dodgers center fielder is 1 for 8. The outfield is shaded a bit to the right. Ball 1. John Flaherty will have a look at the baseball. Versailles is at the mound. Pascual, up until this season, was always near the top in the American League in strikeouts and led the league in that department on several occasions. Ball 1 to Willie Davis. Gilliam on second and 1 out. First inning, no score. Foul back. 1 and 1. Pascual has long been a kicker of dirt at the mound, one of the real landscapers in the pitching profession. Center fielder Joe Nossick, 2 down, and Gilliam will hold at second. Nossick showing a fine arm. And as Willie Davis goes to the dugout, Ron Fairley comes to the plate. Fairley has collected 3 base hits and 8 official at-bats, one of them a home run. So far, Pasquale has shown little confidence in his curve, and he's been mainly throwing the fastball. He does not throw a slider. Strike one. Last year, for the first time, Pasquale added a change off the fastball. Up until last year, he would rely on many speeds of his curveball to keep the hitter off balance. High, 1-1. The Dodgers, Jim Gilliam on second, and Pasquale working to Fairley. Just inside, ball 2, strike 1. Pasquale is 31 years old. Twins outfield playing Fairley just a little bit to the right. Foul, 2-2. In the top of the first, the Twins had a double by Versailles and a walk to Killebrew. Gilliam on second with the Dodger double here in the first. 2-2 pitch. Bob Allison. And the Dodgers are out, leaving one man on. And at the end of the first inning, the score is the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing.
A new kind of shave. A new kind of shave you can only get when you shave all the way with Gillette. Only Gillette has the Slim Twist razor. Looks great, feels great.
This slim molded handle gives you better grip, better balance, better control. This trim head makes shaving those hard-to-reach places so much easier. The Slim Twist opens one-handed. Insert a precision-made Gillette blade with the other hand. Twist again, the blade is locked in perfectly. Only Gillette blades and razors were made for each other. You get
a new kind of shave you can only get when you shave all the way with Gillette.
Now is the time to get your new Gillette Slim Twist razor, complete with Gillette blades, in this handy slim case. Only $1.49.
We have a scoreless first inning. Osteen and Pasquale in this third game, and the Twins in the second will send up catcher Earl Batty, left fielder Bob Allison, and first baseman Don Mincher. Batty was the batter when the Twins either tried a delayed double steal or else conceivably a hit-and-run sign was on. This 1965 World Series game being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC as Gilliam throws out Batty. Bob Allison is the Twins batter. He's had 1 hit and 4 at-bats in the series. It was a double and came up with what has so far been the fielding play of the series. Strike 1. You can tell just by looking he is strong. Foul, strike 2. Allison's remarkable catch in the second game of the series on a drive hit by Lefevre looking back on it now, could well have turned the second game completely around. 2-strike count on Allison, 1 out, none on. Second inning, no score. Fair ball, Roseboro to Parker, 2 down. The Twins' first baseman comes to the plate now. 2 hits, 7 at-bats, including a homer. Minch at one time had the label of being able to hit only right-handed pitching. He has changed it this season. Base hit. Hit number 2 off Osteen. Mincher on first with 2 out in the second. And the batter is the second baseman, Frank Quillisi. Quillisi's had 2 hits in 6 at-bats, and he tied a World Series record by getting 2 hits in 1 inning, a double and a single in the first game of the series. He has knocked in 1 run. Ball 1. Foul away. Incidentally, on deck right now, Camilo Pascual is one of the better hitting pitchers in baseball. I am told that one time in an all-star game in Cuba a few years back, he hit 3 home runs in 1 game. Ball 1, strike 1 to Quillisi. Parker holding with Mincher. Strike. Osteen's fastball getting the inside edge of the plate. No score as the Twins bat in the second. One hot to Wills. To Lefevre. Mincher is forced. The Twins are out and leave 1 on. And so at the end of an inning and a half, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing.
Not long ago, the stainless steel blade was one of the best razor blades you could buy. Today, you might as well forget it. It and every other ordinary stainless steel blade. Because of this, the Gillette Super Stainless, the totally new Gillette Super Stainless blade. The new Gillette Super Stainless is better than any other blade you've ever used because of 2 things. A new high-chrome stainless steel that takes and holds an incredibly sharp edge, and a smooth new coating, more effective than anything else discovered. The result? Miracle edges and a cleaner, closer, more comfortable shave. So don't buy just another stainless steel blade. Make it super stainless. Gillette Super Stainless with the miracle edges. Your shave will last longer. So will the blade.
How does Pascual feel? Here's what he had to say a few moments before the game started.
My arm has been feeling real good, and my fastball has been as good as ever. Maybe my curveball is I don't feel really satisfied, but it's because I'm not have working enough. But I feel real good and I'm ready to go.
Lou Johnson leads it off for the Dodgers in the second. 1 hit in 8 trips. The Dodger left fielder. Foul. Strike 1. The infield at Dodger Stadium, in comparison to the infield of the Twins' home ballpark in Bloomington, Minnesota, Metropolitan Stadium, the infield here is hard. Whereas Maury Wills, for example, described the infield in Minnesota as being a soft infield, and the infielders are aware of the fact, and this caused them sometimes to play a bit differently. Pasquale missing inside with his fastball, 1-1. Killebrew, for example, said that he would play back just a bit deeper in any given situation than he would in his home ballpark. Deep to left center. Off the wall. A double. The Dodgers' third extra base hit of the series. Johnson leads off the Dodgers' second with a double. And the batter, another member of this Dodgers switch-hitting infield, Jim Lefevre. He's had a good series. 3 hits, 8 at-bats. He had a tremendous latter portion of the regular season. Killebrew in about 2 steps at third. Ball 1. Allison in left, 1 away. Johnson holds at second. The first baseman, Wes Parker. He's had just 4 official at-bats despite playing the first 2 games of the series. He's had 2 hits. No score, Dodgers second. Johnson is on second with 1 out. Foul, strike 1. Part of the huge throng here at Dodger Stadium. In the Twins outfield, 3 very strong throwing arms in Allison, Nossick, and Oliva. Nossick in center. Johnson tagging at second. Two down and a runner at third. Johnson at third. 2 out, and the batter is Roseboro. He has collected 2 hits in 8 at-bats in the series and knocked in a run. In fact, he knocked in a run in the 7th inning of the second game with 2 out and the pitcher due next. Ball 1. The Dodgers with 2 hits, both of them doubles. Gilliam in the first with 1 out. Johnson here in the second to lead off the inning. Quillisi to Mincher. The Dodgers are out and leave 1 on. And so at the end of the second inning, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing.
Who's been using my right guard?
Uh-oh. I confess.
Me too, Daddy. Relax, Harry. There's an extra one downstairs, and I've got Right Guard on my shopping list.
Gillette Right Guard Power Spray Deodorant is just right for the whole family because nothing touches you but the spray itself. 2 seconds gives you 24-hour protection. Buy Right Guard in this new decorator container.
Now another Gillette product.
Try Gillette Heads Up, the new clean kind of men's hairdressing. The new clean kind of hairdressing that mixes with the natural conditioning elements of your hair and scalp, the way no greasy dressing can. So your hair looks naturally neat and handsome. Shampoo clean. Try Gillette Heads Up, the new clean kind of men's hairdressing. New Heads Up by Gillette, the people who know man best.
Score, well now, we'll join in that. 62 years of age today. I mention it because it's already been publicized and I can't be accused of revealing any state secrets. So a happy birthday to the president of the Dodgers, Mr. Walter O'Malley. Claude Osteen will be called upon to face Pasquale, Versailles, and Nossick here in the third inning. I'd earlier mentioned that Camilo's a pretty good batter. Now, his average this season, just 200, with 12 hits in 60 at-bats, but included in his hits, 2 home runs, and 1 was a grand slammer. He knocked in 8 runs. Today's attendance, 55,934. Foul out of play on the right side. This is the top attendance for a World Series game here at Dodger Stadium. The previous high was 55,912. So if you're interested in statistics, you have yet another one. Pasquale dearly loves a high outside fastball. Right back to the mound and on to first, 1 away. The Twins' batter is Versailles. Doubled in the first, but as far as third. We would have to wait until after the game's over to find out whether the Twins had a delayed double steal on or a possible hit and run, but with Killebrew on first and Versailles on third, Killebrew broke for second, and Versailles wound up being caught in a rundown. Strike. Versailles has collected 4 hits in 11 at-bats. A homer, a triple, a double, and a single. So Versailles is hit for the cycle. Low and inside, 1-1. Lefty Claude Osteen. Shortstop of the Twins, Doyle Versailles. Ground ball to second. Lefebvre on to first, 2 down. Twin center fielder Joe Nossick. Grounded out. First baseman to pitcher covering in the first inning. 2 out, none on. Third inning, there is no score. Foul. Strike 2. Claude Osteen paying particular attention right now to that scouting report on Nossick. You can see there how Gilliam is playing Nossick very close to the line, aware of the fact that they're going to pitch him inside. Just rolls foul. Scouting report on Nossick, to my knowledge, says that he likes the ball out and away from him. So the first 2 pitches, Osteen jammed him. So it's still strike 2. Nossick has very good speed and is rated as a fine outfielder with a good throwing arm. Foul. Manager Sam Mealy started to platoon with Nozick about mid-season, starting him against left-handed pitchers, and he played well. Missing inside this time, ball 1, strike 2. Twins left a man on in the first, another in the second, and the same with the Dodgers. Just inside with his fastball again, 2-2. Second baseman Lefevre. Out at first, a 1-2-3 inning. So, at the end of 2.5 innings, the score, the Dodgers nothing and the Twins nothing.
Stop. Using a stainless steel blade, getting a good shave, the best possible shave. You sure? When you bought it, the stainless steel blade was one of the best in the world. Today, you might as well forget it. It and every other ordinary stainless steel blade. Thanks to this, the Gillette Super Stainless, the totally new Gillette Super Stainless blade. What makes it so much better than ordinary stainless steel blades? A new high-chrome stainless steel that takes and holds an incredibly sharp edge, and a smooth new coating more effective than anything else discovered. The result? Miracle edges and a cleaner, closer, more comfortable shave. So don't buy just another stainless steel blade. Make it super stainless. Gillette Super Stainless with the miracle edges. Your shave will last longer. So will the blade.
In the Dodger third, the pitcher, Claude Osteen, the shortstop, Maury Wills, and the third baseman, Jim Gilliam. Osteen in the regular season had 12 hits and 99 at-bats. Neither team able to break through. Each team with 2 hits. Strike. Second inning in a row, the Dodgers have the leadoff batter on. Osteen wants the warm-up jacket. That's the National League's Ed Sudol, the umpire at first. Wills, trying to bunt his way on in the first inning, was thrown out by third baseman Harmon Killebrew. Sayers, Aquilisi, no chance for the double play. 1 out. The batter now, Jim Gilliam. Sayers at the mound to have a word with Pasquale. Now, Wills has not stolen a base in the World Series. Pasquale, as I am sure you have noticed, has a big motion. When he rears back, a base runner has that additional split second. Gilliam doubled his first trip. There goes Wills, strike. And the ball not held by Versailles. Stolen base. There it is, an instant replay, and you can see that if the throw had been down, the Twins conceivably would have been able to get Wills. Batty got rid of the ball in a hurry, but it was just a bit high. And so the Dodgers have Wills at second with one out. A count of strike one to Gilliam. Gilliam's double in the first inning. He pulled an inside pitch between Mincher, the first baseman, and the line. No score. Top last half of the third. The bunt attempt is foul. Strike two. It's pretty obvious that the Dodgers' strategy calls for the Dodgers to try and bunt for base hits. Vin Scully has an unofficial count here, and I think that's 3 times the Dodgers have tried to bunt for a base hit. High and inside, ball one. Wills leading at second. Short to first, 2 down, and Wills at third. The batter will be Willie Davis, and we'll watch with interest and see whether Pasquale works out of a windup or not with Wills on third. First time up, Davis sent a fly ball to center. Pasquale will not work out of a windup. He does not get the slow curve. Strike one. Now that, in my opinion, is the best curveball Pasquale has thrown today. High, 1-1. The bluff bunt bringing Killebrew toward the plate. Mincher out at first, and a near collision as Mincher decided not to risk the throw. The Dodgers are out and leave one on. So at the end of the third inning, the score is the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing. We pause for station identification. Tony Oliva has some problems with the English language, but we did get a chance to ask him about facing Claude Osteen.
Let's see, Agustin, he used a pitcher for Washington, and he beat us about 4 or 5 times. And he got a pretty good fastball, and he got a good score. But this is last year, and this is a different year. He's now in different club, and last year sometimes we got 4 or 5 runs, 3 runs, and he still beat us. So maybe this year is different.
Oliva has been held well in check by Dodger pitching in this series, collecting just 1 hit in 9 at-bats. It was a double, and it produced a run. In the first inning today, grounded out second to first. Strike. Strike two. The Dodgers give Oliva a lot of room in right center. Oliva will be followed by Killebrew and Batty. There's the gap in right center. Foul. Ed Hurley will field the ball. Oliva is scheduled for surgery on the middle finger of his right hand as soon as the season is over. He has a bone chip there, and although the swelling's been down the last month or so, it's caused him considerable discomfort for well over a year. Foul. At one time, American League pitchers felt they could get Oliva out by pitching him high and tight. But he's a smart hitter, and he adjusted well, and on many an occasion, he'll hit that inside pitch now to left field shallow. Twice in a row, the American League batting champion this year and last. Low and outside, 1-2. Oliva asks that the ball be examined. Claude Osteen, never a loser to the Twins. With the Senators, 5 wins, no losses against Minnesota. Breaking ball low, 2-2. Twins had runners at first and third in the first inning. Had a runner at second in the second. Strike 3. Osteen has his first strikeout. During the season, Osteen, in winning 15 and losing 15, struck out 162 in 287 innings. Killebrew walked in the first inning. Strike 1. Killebrew suffered a dislocation of the left elbow in a collision with the Orioles' Russ Snyder on the 2nd of August and was out of action about 7 weeks. Fastball low and away, 1-1. Change curve low, ball 2, strike 1. Osteen has retired the last 5 Twins. Three and 1. The Twins, in playing 9 regular season games here at Dodger Stadium this year, hit just 1 home run. And as a team, batted .201 in this ballpark. Pulled the short to first, 2 down. With 2 out and none on and no score here in the 4th inning, Earl Batty comes to the plate. Was thrown out by Gilliam in the 2nd inning. Earl was quite a basketball player at one time. Couple of bounces to short. 1, 2, 3. And so at the end of 3.5 innings, the score is still the Twins nothing and the Dodgers nothing.
You wouldn't think of buying a dress too small or a sandwich too big. You wouldn't have a mop too short or eyelashes too long. You insist your glasses fit right. Your cake bakes light. But what about your pen? Size counts there, too, and just as much. Size makes writing easy or hard, cramped or comfortable. That's why Papermate designed the 3 different sized, shaped, and weighted pens in the Papermate Profile Trio. That one's the slim, light, responsive, smart. That's the husky, real heft and weight. Substantial. And the regular, average size and weight, the one most people like. 3 pens, 3 sizes, shapes, and weights. The Papermate Profile Trio. Pick the one that's right for you.
Tonight at 8:30, 7:30 Central Time, that super sleuth, Maxwell Smart, outsmarts a band of smugglers. Watch the world's worst secret agent in action tonight on Get Smart, in color. Ron Fairley starts it off for the Dodgers in the 4th inning, to be followed by Lou Johnson and Jim Lefevre. There is no score. Fairley flied out to left in the 1st inning. Pasquale has allowed 3 hits, 1 in each inning. Gilliam's double in the 1st, Johnson's double in the 2nd, and Osteen's single in the 3rd. Pasquale has issued no walks, and he has no strikeouts. Ball 1. One and one. Fair ball. Allison fielding the ball. And 3 innings in a row, the leadoff batter on. Fairly content to go with the outside pitch and not try to overpower it. So 4 Dodger hits, and 3 of them have been doubles. The batter, Lou Johnson, doubled up the left center field alley in the 2nd inning. No score, but the Dodgers with the leadoff batter on 2nd in the last of the 4th. Pasquale to Mincher, and the runner moves to 3rd, 1 out. The Twins are now looking to the dugout as Jim Lefevre comes to the plate. The Twins wanting manager Sam Mealy to indicate where shall we play on the infield. Lefevre sent a fly ball to shallow left in the 2nd inning with Johnson on 2nd. He comes up now with Fairley on 3rd and only 1 out in the last of the 4th of a scoreless game. Versailles with a tremendous play, and the runner is held at 3rd. A base hit. Zoilo Versailles cutting off a certain run, but the Dodgers still have a 1-out threat going with runners at 1st and 3rd. The batter, Wes Parker, sent a fly ball to center in the 2nd inning. Hit it deep. Frank Quillisi and Zoilo Versailles are getting set on their strategy. Ball 1. The runner at 3rd is Fairley. At 1st, Lefevre, held by Mincher. And you can see where the infield is playing. Outside, ball 2. Camilo Pasquale in a 1-out jam of this scoreless game in the 4th inning. Ball 2 and no strikes to Parker. Ball 3. Three and 0. Ball 4. Safe at 3rd. Bases are loaded with one out. Earl Batty has asked for time and a meeting at the mound. Harmon Killebrew joins the discussion. While this is going on the infield, the outfielders, center and left, Nossick and Allison, have had a meeting. John Roseboro grounded out second to first in the second inning. Now, as you'll note, the Twins have the infield at the edge of the grass on the left side, halfway on the right side. Ball one low. So Batty called for the off-speed pitch on the first pitch. Tim Lefevre twisted his ankle while coming to the plate. Roseboro has his second and third runs batted in of the series, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead. Fairley scored. Lefevre scored. Parker stopped at second. And the Dodgers break through. And the pitcher, Claude Osteen, comes to the plate. Slapped an outside pitch into left field for a base hit in the third inning. 6 hits off Pasquale. The Twins are anticipating a bunt. A pop-up. Third baseman Killebrew, and the infield fly rule is in effect, and it's 2 down. Maury Wills comes up, grounded out in the first, grounded into a force play in the third, and then proceeded to steal second. The Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing, with Dodger runners at first and second, 2 out, last of the fourth. The runner from second going for third, the throw, and he is safe. And the runner goes to second. So Parker steals third. Roseboro steals second. And there's the instant replay of that steal, and with Killebrew playing in tight, you'll note the throw was there in time, but with the third baseman in, he could not get the ball to the runner, and so the Dodgers have runners at second and third. It was a strike to Wills. Strike, 0-2. Pasquale in this inning has given up a double, an infield single, a walk, and a bases-loaded single to Roseboro. In the dirt, ball one. On third base, Parker. On second base, Roseboro. Into shallow center, Versailles is back, and the Dodgers are out, but score twice. And so, at the end of the fourth inning, the score, the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing.
See this man? He's using a stainless steel blade. Has since they were introduced. He thinks they're great. Yet, he'll never buy another one. No, he'll never buy another ordinary stainless steel blade. Because the Gillette Super Stainless is here. The totally new Gillette Super Stainless blade. Made of a new high chrome stainless steel that takes and holds an incredibly sharp edge. With a smooth new coating more effective than anything else discovered. The result? Miracle edges and a cleaner, closer, more comfortable shave. So don't buy just another stainless steel blade. Make it Super Stainless. Gillette Super Stainless with the miracle edges. Your shave will last longer. So will the blade.
This 1965 World Series game is being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC. Well, Vin Scully, with the announcement that Dick Tracewski is the new second baseman, did you notice at what point Jimmy Lefevre might have injured his ankle?
Yes, I did, Ray. When Lefevre was scoring on the base hit by Roseboro, Osteen and Wills were up at the plate telling Jimmy to slide because Tony Oliva has one of the great throwing arms in the American League. Lefevre seemed to hesitate as to whether he was going to slide or come in standing up. And it was at that point, I believe, when he twisted the ankle, and he eventually came in standing up and now goes out.
So a new Dodger second baseman, Dick Tracewski, and Bob Allison is up, taking a curve from Osteen for strike one. Allison sent a little tapper in front of the plate in the second inning and was thrown out by Roseboro. The Dodgers have a 2-0 lead in this third game of the World Series. Foul off the hand of Billy Martin. Strike two. Twins third base coach, Bill Martin. The Twins have managed but 2 hits. Osteen has walked 1 and struck out 1. It's an errorless game. Just a bit low with a fastball. Ball 1, strike 2. Strikeout. As Don Mincher comes to the plate, we asked him before the ball game about facing Osteen.
I think the reason that Osteen has given us a little trouble in the past is because he has real good stuff. He keeps his pitches low, and when he pitched against us before, we didn't have boys like Oliva that, you know, is our third hitter now who can hit left-handers as well as right-handers. And Rosales has come along so much better since the time that he pitched against us that I think we should fare a lot better against him. And he's got good control. But now that we've got the confidence we can beat anybody, I'm sure that we'll be tougher on him than before.
Mincher singled his first time up today. Low, ball 2. 1 out, none on. Twins batting in the 5th inning, and the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. Strike. 2-1. Osteen has retired 8 in a row. Mincher's single in the second, representing the last Twins base runner. Tracewski to first, 2 down. Dick Tracewski, many of you recall, is no stranger to World Series competition. He played in all 4 games when the Dodgers swept the Yankees in 1963. Here's Frank Quillisi, grounded into a force out in the 2nd inning. 2 out and none on. 5th inning. First baseman Wes Parker calling. Another 1-2-3 inning. And so, at the middle of the 5th inning, the score is the Dodgers 2 and the Twins nothing. The second half of today's game is brought to you by Chrysler Corporation. Today's host, Chrysler and Imperial and your local Chrysler and Imperial dealers.
Your Chrysler Canada dealer presents Hit Parade for 66, a lineup of cars that are bound to lead the parade. Exciting Chrysler. Move up. Enjoy the Chrysler way of life. Big Dodge. Dodge gives you more than ever before. More size, more comfort, more pride. It's a lot more car for your money. Swinging Coronet by Dodge. Coronet's a new idea from Dodge. Plymouth, twice the Tiger for 66. There's the hot new Belvedere, a smart new Sizzler from Plymouth. Then there's the big new Plymouth Fury. Nothing goes like Fury. Spirited Valiant. Nobody beats Valiant for value. See them all now at your Chrysler Canada dealers during Hit Parade 66.
As we move to the last half of the fifth inning with the Dodgers leading 2-0, it's my pleasure to bring in, to carry you along the rest of the way, the voice of the Dodgers, Vin Scully.
Thank you, Ray, and hi, everybody. Jim Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley in that order. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the fifth. Gilliam doubled inside first and down the line and grounded to short. Timeout until the ground crew leaves. Jim 1 for 2. High drive to deep right, hooking down the line, foul, and deep in the lower deck. 0-1. Gilliam is not a home run threat, particularly in a park of this size. Jim hit 4 home runs this year. 1-1. Pasquale is due up first when the Twins hit in the 6th inning. So they have their bullpen working for the second time, and again, it's left-handed Jim Merritt. Ball 2. Camilo having more trouble with his control in the last inning. There is Jimmy Merritt. In 1961, he worked in the Dodger clubhouse. Ball 3. So Camilo is struggling with the strike zone right now. He's been basically high wild, although he's only walked 1. Two runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. They've left 5. No runs, 2 hits for the Twins. They have left 2. Up fly on the right side, Mincher and Quillisi, with Quillisi calling. 1 away. Willie Davis flied to center, grounded to first. 0 for 2. Willie 1 for 10 in the series. A notorious first ball hitter. Time out for the moment. The sun is doing its best to burn off the early morning glare and is now beginning to present a couple of problems. So Frank Quillisi, who had a little trouble with the pop fly, won sunglasses. Zoilo Versailles comes over to get a pair, and they're going to bring some to Nossick and perhaps to Oliva as well. It's a tough sky, and of course with a big crowd and shirt sleeve, it presents an extra problem to get any kind of a jump on a ball hit in the air. So the boys go into their glasses. So Allison, Nossick, and Oliva get glasses along with Quillisi and Versailles. One out, bottom of the fifth. Dodgers 2, Twins nothing. Low curve for a strike. One reason the Dodgers are trying to bunt a little bit more today, I think they themselves realize they let an opportunity get away in Minnesota. 1-1. But on that rainy day in the second game with a wet infield, that was their game and they let it go by. Fastball, line to center. Nossick plays it on a out. Seven hits for the Dodgers, and Willie Davis is a definite threat to go. In fact, right now, with fairly up, among other things, with less than 2 outs, there's a definite possibility of a hit-and-run play. Willie Davis stole 25 bases this year. Fairley has been unable to pull Pasquale. He flied to left and then doubled to left. Willie held on by Don Mincher. Willie and Wills, if they were put shoulder to shoulder in a 100-yard dash, Willie Davis would win. However, no one is able to get off in high gear the way Wills does. It takes Willie a few steps to build up to top speed. There he goes. Off the glove, down to Quillisi. No play at second. The play is to first. So they played hit and run, and Fairley winds up grounding out to Frank Quillisi. One thing that helped the Twins with Willie going, Quillisi was breaking towards the bag and therefore came right into the play. 2 out. Here's Lou Johnson. Lou doubled the left center and sacrificed. He's 1 for 1. Dodgers 2, Twins nothing, 2 out in the 5th inning. Fouled away. The Dodgers came to Los Angeles in 1958, and since coming here, they have played before more than 18 million Angelinos. 0-1. Willie's going to third. Line drive into left center, base hit. Willie scores, and Johnson's heading for 2. He's in there. The Dodgers now have 4 doubles in their 8 hits. They lead 3-0. Johnson 2 for 2, both doubles, and Dick Tracewski the batter. 2 out. So Camilo Pasquale having trouble putting that ball where he wants it. He's getting it up, and they're being hit. Dick Tracewski, as Ray mentioned to you, played all 4 games against the Yankees. The Dodgers try to make him a more aggressive hitter. If you were scouting him, you'd say he takes a lot of strikes, and they're trying to get him swing more. Ball 1. Pasquale pitching today somewhat the way Drysdale pitched in Minnesota, having trouble getting that ball down. Jim Merritt still heating up in the bullpen. Willie was going on that pitch to Johnson, and now Lou's taking a big lead. Ball 2. Everything high. We are awaiting further word on Lefebvre. Among other things, Pasquale's cleats are filling up, so he's having trouble.
Get more, get for 66. Get Dodge for 66. Dodge!
Dodge goes like the wind, with 440 cubic inches of scorching V8 power. Dodge corners like it's on rails. Dodge rides like velvet on a road-smoothing 121-inch wheelbase. Dodge is a very exciting car. Thrill to Dodge soon. It's a lot of car.
Get Dodge!
It's the most car in the popular price field.
Get Dodge for 66.
A reminder, Mickey Rooney guest stars in a power-packed drama this Wednesday evening when Bob Hope presents the Chrysler Theater in color at 9, 8 Central Time on NBC. The Twins make a change. Rich Rollins, right-hand batter, coming up to bat for Camilo Pascual. Rollins making his first World Series appearance. Hit .249 during the regular season with 5 home runs, 32 RBIs. A bunt foul. So Rich will try it again. So Camilo Pascual worked 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, 8 hits, walked 1, but his trouble still a case of lack of control. Did not strike out a batter. Comebacker. Osteen to Parker. 1 away. Zoilo Versailles, who has really stood out in this series with the glove, with the bat, with his legs. Today, he doubled, grounded out, made a fine play on the ball hit by Lefevre. 1 for 2 today. He's 4 for 12 in the series. Gilliam plays him even with the bag at third. Strike. Gilliam was on the move. Jim right at the bag. Osteen trying to in and out him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Claude is not an overpowering pitcher. He has to have good control. And in the first 2 innings, he had a little trouble. But then he has improved with control, just as Pascual had his troubles. Hit to center, base hit. So Versailles has his 5th hit of the series. Boy, he's an exciting player to watch. Joe Nossick had a few thoughts about the series. Here's what he said.
The field is much harder than the Minnesota field has been lately, and I think the sun's going to play a factor today. It's cloudy out there now, and I hope it stays that way because in center field, the sun is right in the fielder's eyes. So if it stays cloudy, it shouldn't be too rough out there today.
Line drive over Krasuski's glove, and Versailles goes into third base. So a line drive single to put Twins at first and third with 1 out as Minnesota now tries to get back in business. American League batting champ Tony Oliva coming up, and the Dodger bullpen will stir around. That's Howie Reed, number 39, right-hander, and Ron Peronoski, the left-hander. Osteen had a string going. He had retired 11 in a row and has now given up back-to-back singles to Versailles and Nossick. And here is Oliva, grounded out and struck out. Gilliam at the bag. Parker holding Nossick. Second base back. Ground ball at Trasuski. He's on the bag for one. Doubles him at first. No runs. 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of 5 1/2, Dodgers 3, Twins nothing.
When you see an automobile as proudly beautiful as this Chrysler, you expect it to take special care of you, and it does. The driver's seat adjusts 6 ways, up, down, forward, and back. The wheel adjusts up or down, in or out, so you can always drive easy and relaxed. Even your passenger never had it so good. And when the sun goes down into dusk, Chrysler's head and rear lights go on automatically. Now you're home. You switch off the motor, but not the lights. They stay on to light your way to the front door, and only then go off automatically. Yes, Chrysler does take special care of you. Move up to all the luxury of the Chrysler way of life.
Bottom of the 6th inning, the totals. The Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. They have left 6. The Twins no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. They have left 3. Camilo Pascual went 5, and left-hander Jim Merritt will pick up and become the first Minnesota relief pitcher in the series. Jim Merritt, 6'3", 180-pounder. He was born in Altadena, California. He lives in West Covina. He was at one time a Dodger clubhouse boy, both home and away, as far as the clubhouses are concerned at the Coliseum. And both Jim Lefebvre and Jim Merritt worked in the clubhouse. They were both on the Dodger rookie squad, amateur players. And then Merritt was eventually drafted by Minnesota. The one natural, of course, would be to have Merritt pitch against Lefebvre. But the quirk of fate had Lefebvre twist his ankle and have to come out in the 4th inning. So Jimmy Merritt picks up in the 6th inning. While he warms up, a reminder, next Saturday, NBC will telecast one of the top college football games of the year when Texas meets Arkansas in the NCAA Game of the Week at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Central Time, live and in color, exclusively on NBC. And remember that before each college football game is the Bud Wilkinson NCAA Preview Show. Wes Parker, Johnny Roseboro, and Claude Osteen in the 6th. Dodgers 3, Twins nothing. Ball 1. Young Jim Merritt, 1-5 and lost 4 for the Twins. He saved 2. ERA of 3. Curve for a strike, 1-1. Breaking ball high, ball 2, 2-1. Dodgers scored twice in the 4th and once in the 5th. And Rich Rollins batted for Pascual in the top of the 6th. Hit into right center for the base hit. Nossick up with the ball, so Wes Parker is 1 for 2. And the Dodger leadoff man has done well, getting on in the 2nd, in the 3rd, in the 4th, and in the 6th. Here is Johnny Roseboro, who's had the big hit so far today for the Dodgers. Single to right to drive in 2 in the 4th inning. He was the trailer man on a double steal, and he's grounded out. He's 1 for 2. Parker, during the regular season, stole 13. High fly ball to right field. Oliva's there. 1 away. Here comes Claude Osteen. Claude single to left in the third inning, popped up in the fourth. Killebrew playing up inside the bag, and Mincher ready to push off at first. Strike. Claude around as if to bunt, then pull that bat back. Bottom of the sixth, one out. Parker at first. 3-0 Dodgers. Osteen checking to see if the bunt is on with Preston Gomez. The bunt's on, and it's fouled away. Now Osteen is checking to see if they want him to try and bunt with 2 strikes. There's the man flashing the signs, Preston Gomez, coaching at third. Parker at first, held on by Mincher. 1 out. The bunt. Down to get it, Merritt has to go to first base to second baseman Quillisi covering. So the sacrifice works. Parker moves up 90 feet, and the batter will be Maury Wills. (1-4) if you're scoring. Merritt almost stumbled as he fielded that ball. Wills tried to bunt his way aboard, and Killebrew threw him out in the first inning, hit into a force play in the third, and popped up in the fourth. All 3 trips, he was hitting left-handed against Pasquale. Now he'll go the other way. When Wills bats right-handed, most of the time when he bunts, he pushes it up along first base. Lined in the right center field. Nossick coming over in a hurry. Dives. Can't get it. Backed up nicely by Oliva. The run is over, a double for Wills. So Maury Wills picks up a double, and the Dodgers now have 10 hits, 5 of them doubles. Nossick really let out to try and catch it, and Oliva made a fine heads-up play to back up. Had the ball gotten by Nossick and Oliva not backing up, Wills would have had a cinch triple. So it is 4-0 Dodgers, and here is Gilliam. Everybody in the Dodger lineup now has at least 1 hit. Pickoff play, but no throw. Johnny Clipstein, veteran right-hander, loosening up in the Twins bullpen. Wills trying to open a hole for Gilliam. Pickoff play, they get him. And the Dodgers settle for a run on 2 hits, nobody left. And at the end of 6 innings of play, the Dodgers 4 and the Twins nothing. We pause now for station identification.
This is the CBC Television Network.
Let's take a look at that pickoff play involving Wills at second base. There's Maury. And Quillisi is there to hang him out to dry. Seventh inning. Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. The Twins, no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And big boy coming up, Harmon Killebrew to lead it off. Then Earl Batty and Bob Allison. Killebrew walked and grounded to short. He's 0 for 1, 3 for 7 in the series. High fly ball to right. Fairley coming over, sunglasses down. When Osteen's fastball is working properly, he's a tough man to pull. That fastball had a little tail on it. Killebrew tried to pull, and as you saw, hit the fly ball to right. Earl Batty has grounded to third, grounded to short. So he's 2 for 10. Ball 1. The left-hander loosening up now is Bill Fleece, along with right-hander Johnny Clipstein. Fly ball to Willie Davis. He flicks the shades down. 2 out. Here's the man who made the great defensive play the other day in Metropolitan Stadium, Bob Allison. As a batter today, Roseboro threw him out when he topped the ball, and he struck out 0 for 2. 1 for 6 in the series. Slider for a strike. Roll down to Trasuski. That'll do it. They're out in order 1, 2, 3, and the score at the end of 6.5 innings of play, Dodgers 4, Twins nothing.
Your job. The new Dodge and Fargo trucks work harder and longer for you.
And now, another message from Chrysler. September 26, 1962, Chrysler Canada Limited announced a 5-year or 50,000-mile powertrain warranty. These cars carried it, the 1963 Chrysler-built cars. Today, many of these cars have new car warranty left. Think of this when you're buying a new 1966 car. Think of still having warranty protection in 1968, 69, or even 70. Makes sense to buy a car or truck from Chrysler.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Dodgers, and I butchered the pronunciation of his name, so with everybody watching, let's straighten it out. The left-hander is Bill Fleece, and I'm sorry, Bill, with him, Johnny Clipstein. Jim Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley. This might be Gilliam's last at-bat. Normally, leading, John Kennedy finishes up at third. Strike. Gilliam is doubled, grounded to short, and popped up, 1 for 3. He turned that pitch over. So Jimmy throwing a screwball and tried to get it on the corner and missed. 1-1. Jim Merritt in relief of starter Camilo Pascual. Another one, and he missed with a screwball again. 2-1. Gilliam leading off the inning, but Killebrew is not playing him to bunt. He's back. Line to left field, Allison in his tracks. 1 away. The message board in left field now informs us that the x-rays on Jim Lefever's ankle negative. And it turns out to be a bruised heel. However, they do not tell us whether he's ready to play tomorrow or not. Willie Davis is 1 for 3. Slide to center, roll to first, single to center. Breaking ball missed. Ball 1. Willie 2 for 11 in the series. Curveball popped up. Mincher and Batty hustling over. Need a man, and Batty drops to his knees. He hit that railing very hard. It's a padded railing, but he went in there straight up. It was as if somebody walked up and whacked him. George Lentz, the Minnesota trainer, making sure Earl is all right. It is rare that you see a player injured near his own dugout. Normally, he could hear his teammates telling him no play or no room or look out. But with the big crowd roaring, Earl never heard anyone in the Minnesota dugout, and he hit the railing. Now, as you notice, that railing just to the right on the picture, behind George Lentz, is padded. There's the replay. There's Mincher, but it's Batty we're worrying about. Bam! Drove him to his knees. Tremendous effort by Batty, with his club trailing by 4, bottom of the 7th. Anxious Twins and Willie Davis went over to make sure he was all right. And they're bringing a towel that appears to be dripping with ice water and applying it perhaps to Earl's face and then also at the base of the neck. You can see George Lentz now mopping Earl's face, the ice-cold towel. So suddenly, in the third game of the series, we have 2 players shaken up. Lefevre had to leave in the 4th, and now Batty driven to his knees in a collision with the padded fencing around the dugout seats. Those dugout seats were inspired by the seats in Japanese ballparks. And Earl now being taken away. And we will have to have another catcher, unfortunately. Batty a little groggy. Jerry Zimmerman might be coming in. He has World Series experience. Zim was with the Cincinnati Reds, and here he comes. Oh, gee, Earl Batty really gave that thing a terrible whack. Jerry Kendall, infielder, will help to warm up Merritt while Zimmerman puts on the gear. And there is Earl Batty taken down the steps and back to the runway. So we can only hope, each in our own way, that Earl will be okay and be back in the lineup tomorrow. There's Sam Mealy talking to Walter Alston. And now Jerry Zimmerman with the gear on goes out to get his sign squared away with Jimmy Merritt. So Jerry Zimmerman, who was on the National League champion Cincinnati Reds squad and appeared in the series, now gets in when Earl Batty is shaken out, crashing into the railing and protective wiring in front of the dugout seats. The Dodgers played exhibition games in Japan in 1956, and it was in the Japanese ballparks they first saw dugout seats. Walter O'Malley quite impressed with the arrangement, and when he built Dodger Stadium, they were installed. 1-1 the count to Willie Davis, and as soon as we get a report on Earl, we'll pass it to you. 1 out, 7th inning, 4-0 Dodgers. 2-1. Ron Fairley on deck. The sky, the overcast, just about burned off now. Getting a little blue. Fastball. 2-2. So Merritt now has shown it all. Fastball, curve, screwball. He's changed off the curve. Slow curve and a high fly ball down the right field line, hooking in the corner. Oliva leans over and one-hands it for the out and made it look easy. Fine play by Tony. Well, he can do it all. A fine play by Tony Oliva on the foul ball in the corner. Take another look as he just goes over so gracefully and leans in. Real easy like. Ron Fairley, slide to left, double to left, grounded out, 1 for 3. Fairley, I believe, hit a changeup for his double. National League pitchers trying to off-speed him to get him out. One and one. Four nothing Dodgers, 2 out, bottom of the 7th, bases empty. Merritt is due to bat third, so this might be his last inning. 2-1 to Fairley. Slow curve, hit to left center. Nossick got a good jump. Goes back and makes the running catch. A fine play. He's a fine outfielder. And the Dodgers are out on fly balls. And at the end of 7 innings of play, Dodgers 4, Twins nothing.
Hiya, folks. I'm twice the Tiger for 66. Yeah, twice the Tiger. This year, there are 2 great lines of Plymouth cars. The big new Plymouth Fury and the hot new Plymouth Belvedere.
Belvedere is the brand new fun-size Plymouth, a top-performing new kind of Plymouth. Belvedere, packed with power and performance. Belvedere's the hot one for 66. This is the beautiful 66 Plymouth Fury, the Plymouth for people with a taste for big car comfort and roominess, a taste for scat-away power and performance. Plymouth Fury has all this and lots more. Nothing goes like Fury, and Fury, just like Belvedere, is built with famous Plymouth quality and dependability. And both cars are backed by Plymouth's famous warranty. Belvedere Fury.
They're the greatest.
The anticipated change for the Dodgers. John Kennedy is now at third base for Jim Gilliam. As we go to the 8th inning with the Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits and no errors, the Twins no runs, 4 hits and no errors. There's John Kennedy. One note about Kennedy, he made his debut in the major leagues against the Minnesota Twins. And he homered as a pinch batter, breaking up a no-hitter of Dick Stigman in 1962. Don Mincher will lead it off, 0-1. So Mincher, Quillisi, and we'll see about Merritt's spot. Over, 1-1. Claude Osteen, pitching in his first major league game. His dad is here today in the stands watching him, and his dad is celebrating his 64th birthday today. And if you have a child, you know how he must feel. 1-2. Don has singled to center and grounded to second, 1 for 2. Hit that towering home run at Metropolitan Stadium. Breaking ball missed. 2-2. Fastball fouled off and back into the crowd. Time called now. Wills won sunglasses, and there's quite a battle in the stands. So Maury Wills goes to the sunglasses as that overcast has just about been burned away. 2-2. Behind him, ball 3. Osteen walked Harmon Killebrew in the first inning. In the fourth inning, he had a 3-1 count on Killebrew, and Harmon rolled to short. Now he's 3-2 on Mincha. I believe those are the only 3 times so far where he's had a 3-ball count on a batter. Big hopper foul down the line. Largest crowd ever to see a game at Dodger Stadium, 55,934. Surpassing by about 30 or 20 the World Series crowds of 1963. Bounce it to Parker, backs up, doubles up to get it, underhands to Osteen. Tough play. When you have to back up on a ball here at Dodger Stadium, you risk the problem of letting that ball play you. And Parker, even though it skidded, kind of folded his body over it, and then Osteen alertly covering. Here's Quillisi. Quillisi hit into a force play and popped up. Frank 0 for 2. Pinch hitter on deck for Jim Merritt. Breaking ball, a strike. There's the report on Earl. One and one. Oh, I hope not. Oh, that's good news. The first paragraph of the Earl Batty story. 1-1 to Frank Quillisi. 1 out, 8th inning, 4-0 Dodgers. On the corner with the fastball. Boy, that's quite a pitch. His control has been that good. 1-2. Osteen has allowed 4 hits. He had 1 trouble spot with 1 out, back-to-back singles in the 6th, and then Oliva hit into the double play. Change-up, foul back. Quillisi waiting and just did foul it off. Fastball just missed. 2-2. Osteen is not a strikeout pitcher. He averaged about 5 strikeouts a game during the year. He struck out 2 today. Ball 3. His pitches are starting to come up just a little bit. And now the boys are getting up off the stools in the bullpen. Osteen's starting to tire, apparently. And as he does, the pitch comes up. 3-2. Ground ball to Kennedy, right under him. Into left field. Quillisi rounding first and holding on as Lou Johnson gets it back in. Tough play. Kennedy played it to come up. The ball sunk, and he started to back up, as you saw. And he gets an error. Boy, once you back up in this ballpark, you're asking for trouble. That's Bob Miller, right-hander, loosening up in the Dodger bullpen. Sandy Valdispino will come up and bat. He went 1 for 4 in the first game of the World Series. He doubled against Don Drysdale. Sandy Valdispino will bat for Jimmy Merritt. Fouled away. By the way, there are 3 official scorers in the World Series. Those men are Joe McGuff of the Kansas City Star, Arno Goethel of the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and George Lederer of the Long Beach Independent Press Telegram. 0-1 to Valdispino, hitting for Merritt. Sandy hit .261 during the year. He jammed him, a little looper to Trasuski. No play at first. 2 out. So a fastball up and in, jammed Valdispino. That brings up Zoilo Versalles. Versalles has doubled and singled. He is 2 for 3. He is 5 for 13 in the series. So 2 out, Quillisi at first. 4-0 Dodgers in the 8th. Parker not holding him on. They don't expect Frank to gamble down by 4. Ball 1. Claude Osteen with 2 out in the 8th, leading 4-0. Ball 2. So Osteen, who had walked 1, has had a 3-ball count in the inning. Trying to get the ball down and has gotten it too low. He's behind 2-0. Kennedy is up a step inside the bag at third. Now he's high, ball 3. Osteen, as you can see, is not a big man. He's not tremendously strong. He started 40 games during the regular season and completed 9. Some of them, however, he had to come out for a pinch hitter. Ball 4. So his pitches now are starting to miss. He's not nearly as sharp as he was from the 3rd through the 7th. That's the 2nd walk allowed by Osteen. And the Twins, with 2 out, on an error and a walk, have runners at first and second, and here is Joe Nossick. Nossick has grounded out twice and singled, 1 for 3. He made the ball players out in the first inning. Versalles had doubled, and Nossick hit the ball to the right side, grounding out to get Versalles over to third. That's one of the least appreciated and biggest plays in baseball. Little pop fly on a breaking ball to Wills. No runs, no hits, an error, 2 left. And at the end of 7.5 innings of play, the Dodgers 4, the Twins nothing.
Swinging people, swinging car.
Swinging Coronet
by Dodge. Coronet, such a beautiful, exciting car.
Swinging Coronet.
How can a car be so exciting yet so practical? Room here, room there, room everywhere.
Swinging Coronet.
And when you want to go, it goes zoom.
It's got the most in its class. It's by itself in its class.
Suddenly, all the others seem so.
Swinging Coronet.
Your Dodge dealer sells it. Get with it.
Swinging Coronet. Great new cars are for you. Get into the swing. Swinging Coronet by Dodge.
Coronet by Dodge.
Lou Johnson will lead it off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's how Lou feels about the World Series.
I know we lost 2 games, but it takes 4 games to win this thing, and I've been playing ball about 13 years now, and I know I'm not going to let those 2 games upset me. And we're going out today, and we're going to win this game, and it's going to put a little pressure on them. What actually has happened is that the people think that we are down, and by losing 2 games, well, naturally the favorites turn over to Minnesota. But that's not true, as I said before. It takes 4 games to win this thing, and I've been playing 13 years, and I'm not going to settle for the loser's share now. I'm going for the winner's share.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the 3rd Minnesota pitcher, right-hander Johnny Klipstein. Camilo Pascual went 5. Jim Merritt went 2. Pascual gave up 3 runs, 8 hits. Merritt 1 run, 2 hits. And now here's Johnny. Klipstein at one time in the Dodger organization. He came up to Montreal and was drafted by the Cubs, but made it to the Dodgers in 1958 and in 59. Breaking ball. Klipstein pitched for the Dodgers in the 1959 World Series against the Chicago White Sox. He was in 1 game, worked 2 innings, did not allow a run. Fouled away, 0-2. Klipstein in another week will be 38 years old. Lou Johnson is 2 for 2, both doubles. Fouled away. Boy, they're beating that outside chest protector at John Flaherty. Both foul balls. National League umpires work with the inside protector. 0-2. Behind him, and twice, now Osteen once and Klipstein once, and both times a case of off-speed pitches slipping. No messages connected with either one. Two and two. The Dodger message board in left field is almost as much a part of the game as the players. One of the understatements of the year led off the message board in between innings. It said, "Same 2 teams here tomorrow." Fouled away. Two and two to Lou Johnson. Bottom of the 8th, 4-0 Dodgers. Johnson, Trasuski, and Parker. 4-3. So Lou Johnson draws a walk. He's bidding for a perfect day. 2 doubles, a walk, and a sacrifice. It is the second walk given to the Dodgers, one by Pascual and this one by Klipstein, and Osteen has walked 2. Here's Trasuski, grounded out in the 5th inning. The Twins think he might bunt. He's around a bunt, takes a strike. In case you were not with us earlier, Jim Lefevre, in scoring from second base in the 4th inning, bruised a heel and twisted his ankle and had to give way to Trasuski. A pitch out, no action. Then in the 7th inning, with Willie Davis at the plate, Willie hit a foul off to the right, and Earl Batty crashed into the wiring in front of the dugout seats alongside the Minnesota dugout, bruised his neck and jaw, and Earl had to leave. Strike. 1-2. Two and two. Suzuki checking to see if there's another play. Klipstein wants another ball. Johnson at first held on by Mincher. Eighth inning, 4-0 Dodgers. Nobody out. Big boys come up for the Twins in the ninth, spearheaded by Oliva and Killebrew. There goes Johnson. Hit and run, it's fouled away. So Lou Johnson back to first. Johnson stole 14 bases during the regular season. He goes again. Swung on and missed. The throw down to Versailles. He got him. Nice tag, and whoop, Lou, hold everything. There are a lot of people watching. A quick tag by Versailles. And Johnson is out 2-6 from Jerry Zimmerman to Zoilo Versailles. We'll take a look at it on NBC Instant Replay. There's Lou. There's Versailles. And there's second base umpire Stewart. Hold on. Well, Lou just about cooled off now. Will pats him on the back. 2 out. And Wes Parker at the plate. Little pop fly. Versailles calling. That'll do it. No runs, no hits, nobody left, and at the end of 8 innings of play, the Dodgers 4, the Twins nothing.
Have a ball in a Valiant sedan. Get out, have fun in a Valiant sedan. There's room for everyone and more in a Valiant sedan.
Raise the roof in a Valiant convertible. Get out and go in a Valiant convertible. Feel the fresh breeze blow in a Valiant convertible.
Live it up in a Valiant hardtop. Get out and swing in a Valiant hardtop. Now's the time for a fling in a Valiant hardtop.
And remember, nobody beats Valiant for value.
A reminder, immediately following this game, there'll be another edition of the NCAA College Football Scoreboard over most of these NBC stations. Ninth inning, the totals through 8. The Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Twins no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. The Twins in the ninth will send up Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew, and then we'll see about catcher Jerry Zimmerman. Oliva grounded out in the first inning, struck out in the fourth, and then with 2 on and 1 out in the sixth, hit into a double play. Runs under a curve, ball 1. Claude Osteen trying to keep the Dodgers alive in this third game. He leads 4-0 in the ninth. Strike. 1-1. The Dodgers will watch Osteen carefully. He showed some troubles in the 8th inning. They have Peranowski and Miller in the bullpen. One. Curve is line to center, base hit. Willie gets it back in. So Oliva, he is 2 for 12. And the batter, Armin Killebrew. By the way, tomorrow NBC will telecast one of the top American Football League games of 1965. The San Diego Chargers meet the Buffalo Bills. 1 Eastern Time, 12 noon Central Time, live and in color exclusively on NBC. Drive into left center, but Willie's there. 1 away. Tony Oliva at first base, 1 out, and Jerry Zimmerman will come up. On deck, Bob Allison. So Zimmerman makes his first appearance of the series with the bat. Finishing up for Earl Batty, shaken up in the 7th inning. Zimmerman hit .214 for the Twins during the regular season. He had 1 home run, 11 runs batted in. 1 out, 9th inning, 4-0 Dodgers. Strike, fastball on the corner. Tomorrow, looks like Don Drysdale and Mudcat Grant. Fastball missed. 1-1. Osteen trying to go all the way. He needs 2 more outs. Fastball hit to Wills. That might be it. To the bag for 1. Doubles in at first. So Claude Osteen brings the Dodgers back as they turn in their 2nd double play of the game and their 3rd of the series on the ground ball to Wills. So the windup of the 3rd game of the 1965 World Series, the final score, the Dodgers 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Minnesota Twins, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher, Claude Osteen, the losing pitcher, Camilo Pascual. In a moment, we'll review the highlights of the game for you.
Plymouth Belvedere. There's something about a brand new, sparkling Plymouth Belvedere that sets a man a-dreaming. Fireball O'Hare, champion of the world's most grueling cross-country rallies, yet again sets out to smash records all across the country in his hot new Plymouth Belvedere. No test is too hazardous as Fireball meets every challenge. And who is once again the unbeatable champion? The unconquerable O'Hare and his hot new Belvedere Satellite. Yes, Plymouth Belvedere sets a man a-dreaming. But man, what dreams. And it's the kind of car that fits a young family's budget.
Remember, folks, for 66, there are 2 great Plymouths. The hot new Belvedere and the big new Fury.
Both cars are backed by Plymouth's famous warranty. Belvedere, Fury.
They're the greatest.
The totals for this 3rd game of the 1965 World Series, as the Twins lead the Dodgers now 2-1. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and 6 men left. For the Twins, no runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 5 men left. Claude Osteen is still undefeated as far as the Twins are concerned. Camilo Pascual, the loser. This game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is similarly prohibited unless authorized in writing by the Commissioner. The Dodgers, in winning their first game of the 65 World Series, broke a scoreless deadlock in the 4th inning. Ron Fairley led off the inning with a double to left. He was sacrificed to 3rd by Lou Johnson. With the Twins infield playing up, Jim Lefevre sent a bounder to short. Twins shortstop Versailles made a great play on the ball, but he could not make a throw to first as the runner held at 3rd, runners 1st and 3rd. Pasquale then walked Wes Parker to load the bases. And then came what turned out to be the only base hit the Dodgers needed. John Roseborough lined a solid single to right. Fairley scored, Lefevre scored, and it was 2-0. The Dodgers scored single runs in the 5th and 6th. In the 5th inning with 2 out. And Willie Davis on second, Lou Johnson doubled to left center field, and it was 3-0 Los Angeles. In the 6th inning, Wes Parker led off with a base hit to center off reliever Jim Merritt. With 1 away, was sacrificed to second by pitcher Claude Osteen, and then scored on Maury Wills' double to right center. And so the Dodgers make the series stand 2-1 in favor of the Twins. Pasquale, the loser, worked 5 innings, gave up 3 runs and 8 hits. Jim Merritt went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits and 1 run. John Clipstein worked the 8th inning and held the Dodgers without a run. And as Vin Scully mentioned a moment ago, barring a last-minute change in the thinking by the rival managers, Sam Mealy of the Twins and Walter Alston of the Dodgers, tomorrow's 4th game should find a rematch of the opening game pitchers. Jim Mudcat Grant for the Twins and Don Drysdale for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so tune in tomorrow at 3:45 Eastern Daylight Time for the 4th game of this 1965 World Series, when your hosts, as today again, will be Chrysler Corporation, famous for quality engineering. Today's hosts, Chrysler and Imperial, and your local Chrysler and Imperial dealer. And by Gillette, the people who know men best.
This is the CBC Television Network.